So now that the season is officially over, the Chicago Bears, after winning just 5 games, are heading into a very critical offseason. Obviously, they are not happy with how things went, but they've already started to pick a new direction. They hired Ben Johnson as the new head coach from Detroit, a guy that ran one of the most creative offenses in the league in 2024, and I think I have the perfect plan for the offseason, both through the draft and free agency, to get this team headed in the right direction. But before I begin, I would really appreciate it if you would drop a like and subscribe. It only takes 5 seconds, plus you can always change your mind. We are on the road to 50,000 subscribers, and with your support, I believe that we can get there super fast. Alright, so I think it's safe to say that hiring Ben Johnson was step 1 of this offseason, and the Bears got on it right away. So now it is time to look forward to step 2. But even without the Bears having made any changes yet player-wise, if you're a Bears fan, the Ben Johnson hire itself should really fire you up. In terms of defensive coordinator, as of right now, the Bears have their eye on a rising star in Aubrey Pleasant. But I also know that a lot of people want Dennis Allen to get hired. Allen is a guy that a lot of teams are going to try to interview, but he is a favorite for Chicago, and really over the last 8 years or so, as a DC before getting fired, his defense has put up some really good numbers, ranking top 10 pretty much every season. And that's super impressive because the Saints' identity this decade has really been offensive. In terms of the draft and free agency, I want the Bears to be super aggressive, and they really need to listen to what Ben Johnson wants, specifically on the offensive end. Obviously, if there is a defensive player in the draft available during their picks that they view as the best guy available, then in that case, you obviously would draft that player. But I really do feel like the Bears have that core offensively, they just need some continuity. They need to develop more chemistry, they need better blocking, and another weapon would not hurt at all. I think the consensus right now is that the Bears with the 10th pick are aiming to draft Will Campbell, an offensive tackle out of LSU. Some people are a little skeptical with these questions. Is he a true tackle? Would he fit better at guard? It doesn't matter. Will Campbell is one of the top offensive linemen in this class and is more than welcome at pick number 10. The Bears would be getting a force here, and I think their offensive line with this pick would begin to truly change its identity. I also wouldn't be against trading down in the first round to acquire an extra second or third round pick. My only thing with that is that if they decide to go that route, they need to take a proven player that doesn't have a bad injury history. I don't think the Bears are in a spot where they can take on another project player, and they were already injured enough in 2024. I've seen projections of them trading back to get Josh Simmons from Ohio State, and as a Buckeye fan, obviously I'm biased, but I really like him. What I'm really interested in is the second round, because since they have pick 39 from the Panthers and also pick 41, that is 2 shots to get a solid young player that can come in and instantly make an impact. I mean, early second round picks are super valuable because you're going to be picking from guys who could have been first rounders. At pick 39, I like Walter Nolan out of Ole Miss. He's a defensive lineman that last season had 6.5 sacks and 48 tackles. And then I like another offensive lineman in Donovan Jackson, who also went to Ohio State. I promise it's not because of my Ohio State bias. It's because he's 6'4", 320 pounds, and has a super high ceiling. But I really don't think the Bears would make back-to-back offensive lineman picks, but with them holding the number 41 pick 2 selections later, it could happen. And then moving to that 41st pick, I like Landon Jackson, an edge rusher out of Arkansas. He's a big dude standing at 6'7", and he's 280 pounds. And last season in college, he had 6.5 sacks, 3 pass deflections, and a forced fumble. So I see some upside. But another guy who may be available is Derek Harmon, who at Oregon last year had 5 total tackles, 5 sacks, 2 forced fumbles, and 2 pass deflections. Now moving on from the draft, let's talk free agency. Right now, the top available running backs are Aaron Jones, Najee Harris, J.K. Dobbins, Nick Chubb, and Javonte Williams. And honestly, I just don't see anything I like there. Jones with his age wouldn't really be a fit. Najee could be at the right price, but he's more of a downhill, heavyweight, grinded out type of runner. I think Ben Johnson is going to want to have a more explosive guy than that. Dobbins is kind of risky with his injury history, and Williams is trash. So I think the Bears should look draft. Maybe wait for like the 3rd round to get a guy like Henderson. I definitely think that's the move right now. And then there's the whole Jeanty thing. He is actually projected to go around 10 in most mock drafts, but I only see him as a real possibility for the Bears if they were to somehow before the draft get an offensive lineman in free agency, or if they were somehow feeling super confident in what they have. Because Jeanty really could be a better Derrick Henry. I truly do believe that. But it's just a market for RBs and how cheap and easy it is to get a solid one right now that's holding me back from saying the Bears should take him with such a high pick. One of the things that the Bears were missing last season is speed on the perimeter. And this may be a take that you haven't heard yet, but one super underrated guy that could be available is Elijah Moore from the Cleveland Browns. When you look at his numbers, you won't see anything special, but I mean, he was in a disaster that was Cleveland last season. I think he needs to be able to settle down in a better environment to be able to succeed. The next free agent that would be a dream signing for Chicago is Drew Dalman, who could fix a long-standing problem that this team has had at center. The Bears offense has been plagued by poor center play since the slow deterioration of Cody Whitehair's skill set. It's a position that's hindered this team across more than one general manager and head coach, and it must be fixed this offseason. With Coleman Shelton's short-term deal manning the middle of this offensive line set to expire, Ben Johnson may opt to replicate the success he found in Detroit with all-pro center Frank Ragnow. Chicago has plenty of salary cap space to make sure Dalman is in a Bears uniform this fall. In fact, they have so much cap room, they're projected to be among the NFL's top 5 that they can sign at least 2 high-end starters to the offensive line. Anything less than a 2025 free agency period that includes Dalman or Kansas City Chiefs Pro Bowler Trey Smith signing with the Bears, to me would be a pretty massive disappointment. The Bears could also consider targeting Baltimore Ravens left tackle Ronnie Stanley if they don't view Jones as worthy of an extension. Jones has been a capable starter for stretches, but he allowed 5 sacks in 2024, according to PFF, and was only healthy for 12 games. Also, maybe I'm insane for this, but if the Bears are willing to go a little older on the edge, a reunion with Khalil Mack could also make sense. The defense could also benefit from adding a high-end safety on the back end. The Bears relied on a 31-year-old Kevin Byard in 2024 and saw underwhelming results. Byard allowed an opposing passer rating of 116.8 in coverage. But yeah, basically as you can tell, so many different directions this team can go, and I'm so curious to hear what you guys are thinking in the comments below. That's really all I got for this video. Thank you all so much if you made it to this point, and if you enjoyed and haven't yet, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe because your support truly does mean the world. And also, let me know what you would like to see next, and until then, I will see you all later.
And there's several reasons why I wanted this job. The first is this place. For the last 10 plus years, my family and I have been coming up for a Cubs series every summer. And it doesn't take long to realize that this place is special. These people are special. This is exactly where I wanted to raise my family, my kids. I know we're gonna have so much fun living up here in Chicago. All right? Number 2 is this roster that Ryan's already built. It is stocked, it's loaded. Everyone wants to talk about the quarterback, and Caleb, I'm excited to work with you, but it's gonna take more than just you. And there are a lot of pieces already in place, and I can't wait to get to work with the rest of you guys.